Hey everyone, welcome to WPManageNinja. If you're running a nonprofit organization or you're thinking of starting one, you already know how hard it is to juggle the volunteers, events, and the campaigns that come along with it. Basically, it's like spreadsheets everywhere, email threads that never end, and confused about who's doing what. Sounds familiar? Yep, I know. So today I'll show you how to ditch that chaos and run everything smoothly inside your WordPress site using our very amazing plugin, FluentBoards. We'll walk through how to manage different kinds of campaigns and how to set it up and how everything works in FluentBoards. So I'll basically build a dummy nonprofit setup so you can see it in action. Grab your coffee, hit that like button, and let's simplify your mission. So to start with everything, you first have to install the FluentBoards plugin. As you can see on my screen, I already have it installed and I am currently on the dashboard. I don't have any boards or any tasks on my board yet because I've just installed it and everything looks very neat and very intuitive, very straightforward for if you're using a plugin in a very beginner phase. So as you can see, I don't have anything on my dashboard, but we will have something by the end of this video. You can see that they have boards, this option for boards. Basically, all the boards that you have or you will have will show up over here. So different boards and different projects will accumulate over here. Over here is the reports section. Here, you'll see all the reports and information gathering over here. This is the settings option where you'll be able to go through different kinds of settings that we will see later on. So let's get started with making the project board. At first, you have to go over there and create a board. So we are going to go and give it a title and a description for the board. All right. So as you can see, I have two options over here. One is the project management and one is public roadmap. So this option comes up when we turn on the Fluent Roadmap extension. So what is Fluent Roadmap? It's basically an add-on that comes completely free with FluentBoards Pro. It's a handy tool to get suggestions, feature requests, or any other relevant information from clients, leads, or anyone interested in your business. So I can create one just like I created my project board and embed it into my website easily to interact with potential clients directly. So this extension can be pretty handy if you're in that situation. But for today, I'm just going to go with the project management option and save it. So the board has appeared. As you can see, I have a very clean and intuitive board. I can see that I have 3 stages already and no tasks added. So now I'm going to show you everything inside a board and how you can add tasks and how to manage everything within the tasks. So these over here are the stages for my tasks. So I can easily go ahead and drag and drop these stages wherever I like. Okay, so these stages have this option of adding task. So basically, you can add tasks in each of the stages that you can assign to assignees later on. So this is my stage, the first one. I can easily go ahead and rename that stage to whatever I want. Okay, so I'm naming my first stage as organizers tasks, where I'll save all the tasks for the organizers. So I'm going to go ahead and add task and give it a title. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. So as you can see, I have my first task on my first stage. So this task, basically, you can go ahead and change the settings and add some new things within the task. So let's see how to do that. To do that, we're going to go and click on the task. So this is a task page where you can set everything within the task, starting from assignees, the assignees that you want to add for this task, the dates that you want this task to be fulfilled by. As you can see that there's a due date option, a start date option. You can set it up to your preference. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Okay. So this is a very interesting button over here, which is the priority button. So what this button does is, if your task is super important or in an urgent time, you can go ahead and set the high priority option. If it's not that urgent or not that important, you can go for the medium option. And if you want to go slow with that task, you can easily go ahead and set it to the low priority option. So this is very, very handy if you want to have an overview of each of the tasks and which task you want to finish by the end of due dates. I feel like it's a very important and very handy feature. So next is the labels option. This option works like a marker by which you can mark your task or color code your task. So if you have a number of tasks in your hand, you can just color code it and add it to your preference. All right, moving on to the description tab. So this section, as you can see, it has a very rich text field over where you can add the description or the important information for the task. So whatever you write in the description, you can add hyperlinks. You can even add media in the description. Okay, to show you guys an example, I'm just going to go ahead and paste a dummy text. All right, so as you can see, I have a dummy text over here. I can easily bold the text. I can make this and customize it the way I want it to. So it's a very handy and important feature that you can use. So I'm going to go ahead and save it and keep it as it is. So now we have arrived at the attachment section. So with this section, if you need any kinds of images or any kinds of file that you need to upload, you can go ahead and choose this option and drag and drop files. If your task requires that, you can go ahead and also paste links that you need, URLs that are required for the task. And you can also add a display text for that specific attachment. All right. So the next section is a subtask section. What this section does is, if your task becomes very huge or if you feel like your task is very big, you can go ahead and divide this task into subtasks. You can add subtasks within this task to make that task sectionated. So let's go ahead and add some subtasks for our nonprofit organization board. So as you can see, I have added 3 subtasks for my task. So you can go ahead and set dates for that specific subtask. As you can see, if I set it to 22 with starting date of 21, I can save it just like that. I can even add specified assignees for this specific subtask. All right. And now you can go ahead and edit it or delete the subtask if you want, and even convert that specific subtask into a task. This is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one up as well. So as you can see, I've set all of my subtasks perfectly. So this is all about subtask. All right, below there is a comment section where all of your activities, every single move that you make will be recorded over here in this section. So this was all about the settings within the task. So as we are making a nonprofit organization board, I'm going to go ahead and add a few more tasks for you to understand it better. So as you can see, I have added a few tasks and subtasks for you to understand how a nonprofit organization can use FluentBoards. So as I've created a nonprofit organization, a dummy one, so I've added some tasks and subtasks along with some stages. So you can move the stages according to your priority needs, just like that. It's very easy, drag and drop. This is the Kanban view of the board. What you can do is you can also go for the list view. If we go for the list view, you can see everything comes up as a list. And then you can also view it in a calendar view. So in the calendar view, your tasks view to you or come to you according to the date your tasks or your subtasks have been assigned. So this is a very interesting view, but let's go and switch to Kanban view as I feel like it's more convenient for me personally. All right. So you can also go ahead and filter out according to the people you've tasked, according to assignees, apparently. And then you can also select stages and just view that specific stage. As you can see, I've just put on the organizer's task, and only the organizer's task is showing to me. If I go and add another stage, only that stage also appears after that. All right, so the next one is a task status option. So in this one, okay, so this section over here is a task status option. So if you want to see only the closed ones, you can go ahead and tick this one, and only the closed ones are going to appear here. So as I don't have any of my tasks closed, none of it is appearing over here. So let's go ahead and undo that. And all my tasks appear because none of them were closed earlier. All right, so you can also view your tasks and filter them out according to dates or no dates or overdue. This is a very handy option. You can also go for tasks due this week or next month or all the upcoming tasks all together. So if I go for the overdue ones, I don't have any because I don't have any of the tasks overdue. Or if I go for tasks due in today, the ones that are only due in today will show up. So this filter option is very, very important if you want to have a quick overview on what tasks you have due today, tomorrow, or next week, whenever you want to see. You can also filter them out through the priority option. If you want to see only the high priority task, you can take this one and the high priority tasks are going to appear over here. If you want to see them with the medium ones, you can also go ahead and choose this option, and the low ones. If you want, you can also filter them out according to the labels. If I go ahead and press this one, only the yellow label ones show up. If I go ahead and press the red one, the red label ones show up. So this filter option is very, very handy. I'm going to go ahead and clear this one to have an ultimate view of all of my tasks. Also, I forgot to mention a very important detail in FluentBoards, which is you can apparently move tasks within the stage. So if you want to, suppose as this one is high priority and I want to get it to the top, I can just drag it to the top. How seamless is that? Not only that, you can also move the tasks to different stages according to your preference. So if I want to take this task, collect forms task, to the volunteers task stage, I can simply just drag and drop it over here. How cool is that? Okay, so let's take it back to where it was. All right, so this is all about the settings of the stage and the tasks. Now let's see the settings of the board. So for that, let's go ahead over there, and you can see all the settings for this board has appeared. So if you click on this option, you can see an overview of this board. If you can remember, we put a description before starting this board. This appears over here, the info, who this was created by and when it was created on, everything comes up right here. You can also see the board activity on what every single move or how every single move was made, starting from the smallest detail to the largest ones. All of them show up in the board activity. All right, so now the next one is customizing your board. You can basically change the background of the board according to your preference. So you have gradient option, solid option. You can customize it according to your preference. You can also add images as the backgrounds. For today, let's just go for gradients because they look pretty nice. Okay. You can also, by the way, customize the color according to your preference. Okay. All right, let's go for this one and close this. All right. So the next is the notification settings. So this is a very interesting settings because you can turn on and turn off notifications for the stages or for the moves that you make. So if you want your assignees to get notified about comments, you can enable this. Or if you change any stage or assign a task to anyone, or if any date has been updated or any task has been archived, you can Just simply enable this option so that the assignees or the members of this board get notified for each and every move. And if you don't want them to have any of the notifications, you can just turn it off and save it. So this ensures that board members don't get notified. Okay, moving on to board labels. So usually people can use this for naming or color coding each of the departments. Suppose if I take this option for green and I name it Polo for suppose, the Polo ones are going to be green. So this is a very handy feature. Let's move on to the next one, which is the board members. Okay, this is a very important section because in this one, you can add members for your board. So I'm going to go ahead and show you by adding a few of my members. All right. So as you can see, I have added 3 more members to my board. So I have the option of customizing their access to this board. I can promote them to manager, or I can just keep them as viewers, or I can go ahead and remove them from board if required. So I also have a universal option over here to grant access with view only permission. So if I add members over here, I can just simply tap this, and now whoever I'm going to add is going to get access for viewing the board only. So if I put the access for viewing for the 3 people that I added, they can only see the board. They won't be able to make any kind of edits, or they won't be able to add any tasks or subtasks or whatever that the manager can do. So I'm going to go ahead and promote them to manager and leave this page. Okay, so this is how you basically add the board members. Now is for the archived items section. So over here, if you have any of the tasks archived or if any of the stages archived, you can easily come here and check it out. So let's see. If we go ahead and archive this stage for suppose, we can go ahead and see it in the archived stages option. So if I restore it, it's easily going to come back. It's the same for the tasks. If I go ahead and archive this specific task, I can easily go ahead and check it out in the Archive Tasks option. This is a very cool feature. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and restore it, and it's back over here. All right, so the next option is duplicating the board. If you want to create a similar board for suppose a different organization or different event, you can go ahead and easily duplicate this specific board, and you're going to have the same tasks and the same labels just like this specific board. You can also keep the templates as it is and duplicate it. All right. So this is the export option. You can go ahead and export this entire board to check it out later. And finally, you have the option to archive this board. So when you archive this board, it shows as archived, and you're the only one that can see this board and no one else. So this is basically all the options for the main board settings. So I forgot to mention about the task settings. Although we already had a huge discussion within the tasks, you can quickly edit from outside the task. As you can see, you can open the task, you can copy this specific task's link, you can even add labels to this task, and you can add subtasks from top of here. You can even add priorities, everything that's inside the main taskbar. And easily you can change the cover and archive the task according to your need. All right, so I am done with making my board. I have added my board members. I have added the tasks and subtasks. You can add as many stages as you want. It's totally on you. And we're done making the board. So let's go ahead and check out the report section. As we didn't have any earlier made board or tasks, we didn't see anything on the report section, but I'm pretty sure we will now. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, as you can see, I have a total of 24 tasks. I also have a task priority chart in which I can see how many tasks are high, medium, and low. I can see it in a pie chart view. I also have a task completion chart on how many tasks I have completed or how many tasks I have overdue. I apparently have it in all the views that I need. So this is pretty cool. All right, so let's move to the settings option. Via the settings option, you can also change the roles of the members that you have added on your board. So earlier you saw that I added the 3 users in my nonprofit organization board. From here also, I can change their access to whatever I want, viewer or member, and I can update the access. How easy is that? So this was apparently all about the nonprofit organization board that we made today. All right. So the last but not the least section is a front end portal. So this is a very important section because if you don't want to give anyone access to your WordPress site or dashboard, the volunteers or the organizers or the people that you add on your board can easily access your board via the front end portal. Everything's going to be the same. And yeah, that's basically it. So, if you're ready to ditch the chaotic situation and actually enjoy managing your nonprofit organization, try FluentBoards today. And hey, if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe. I've got more tutorials coming on the way. Just keep your eye on WPManageNinja. Let me know in the comments how you plan to use FluentBoards because I read every single one of them.